Somebody say VHS Horror? That's right, it's time for another VHS haul. Yay, more VHS! One of the harder genres to find on VHS is horror. Especially if you're out looking at secondhand stores and Goodwill and stuff like that. Horror is always harder to find than action, comedy, and a lot more contemporary films. But luckily, I saw someone advertising on Facebook that they were getting rid of a bunch of horror VHS. So I jumped on that shit right quick. Without further ado, these are the titles that I got. First up, Stephen King's Thinner. This came out in 1993.
Did you weigh yourself?
297.
Billy, you were 297 last week.
Well, it takes some time for these diets to work.
It's a pretty crappy movie, but I always love Stephen King stories, no matter how bad they are. There's just something about the weirdness of his characters and the aesthetic he has when he's writing a film. I always like them. Even if they're bad, I always like Stephen King. And the makeup effects are pretty well done in this film. From the weight gain and weight loss to all the horror makeup with people turning into lizards and stuff like that. I always enjoyed this movie for that reason alone. I curse you, Thinner. And for the mere fact that a gypsy curse isn't something that you find in a lot of horror movies. So, Thinner. Let the curse fit the crime.
Please, take it off before this goes any further.
I never take it off.
Up next, we've got a bit of old school horror. That's 1972's Horror Express with Telly Savalas, Peter Cushing, and Christopher Lee. Science fiction thriller set on the famous Trans-Siberian Express. In 1906, an English explorer discovers a remarkable fossil in China. He believes that this strange humanoid, but it's misspelled humamoid. I don't know what a humamoid is. Is the legendary and exclusive missing link. The carefully created discoveries loaded aboard the train for the beginning of what will become a bizarre and horrifying voyage.
You think evil can be killed with bullets? Satan lives.
1972, color, 87 minutes. Horror Express. This next one I'd never heard of before, but it just sounded wacky and interesting, and that's Hellcab, starring Gillian Anderson, John Cusack, Laurie Metcalf, and Julianne Moore. And the tagline is, "Do you dare pay the fare?" This came out in 1997, and it also has an alternate title, Chicago Cab, which doesn't really have the same ring as Hellcab, but so I'm not sure why they have two different titles. And the baseline story is a cab driver picks up a bunch of crazy people and all sorts of shit happens. Hellcab!
What's the matter? You only gave me $4. Yeah, so take food stamps, man. This is as good as cash, man. This is as good as cash. What? Don't you want to take me around anymore? Huh? Yeah, no problem here. It's just, just tell me where you want to go. Turn left. Make a left, go down about 2 blocks. Fuck this.
Up next we have some really old school horror, and that's 1963's The Terror, starring Boris Karloff and Jack Nicholson. An officer in Napoleon's army gets separated from his regiment and stumbles upon the ghoulish happenings at Castle von Lepp. A classic horror film from the master of horror movies, Roger Corman, 1963, 82 minutes. And this one's in color. And I really like the cover of this VHS because it's got a huge Boris Karloff face and like spider webs with women and skulls and a creepy castle. The Terror. Up next, we have probably the shittiest one in the entire collection, and that's The Mangler Part 2. Yes, they made a sequel to The Mangler, and I think they actually even made more than just this sequel. And the tagline is, "Escape before it rips you apart." I'm not sure if there's anyone of consequence in this film except for Lance Henriksen. He plays the headmaster. And I don't think this has anything to do with an industrial steam iron, but the back says, "A terrifying new chapter in the Mangler legacy." Legacy? Okay. What was designed to provide maximum security to students at Royal Collegiate College suddenly sets out to kill and destroy everyone in its path. Now virtual reality means virtual death. And this came out in 2002 when every horror movie had to have something to do with some stupid computer program or virtual reality, and I'm sure it all makes absolutely no sense.
The school is now equipped with an array of sensors and cameras.
It's all about Big Brother.
I'm so scared.
We all need a big brother's protection now and then.
Mangler virus. Oh, Mangler, you're my hero.
Mangler virus download.
Thank you.
Something strange is going on.
Come here.
Lay it on me.
The computer has gone crazy.
Crash the system.
No, it's a trap.
Trying to kill us.
Yeah, it says on IMDb, a teenager girl, mistakenly downloads the Mangler 2.0 computer virus into her high school's new state-of-the-art computer system, and all hell breaks loose. It's got a 2.2 out of 10 stars. Oh God. They did make another one. It's called The Mangler Reborn. Came out in 2005. I don't recognize any of the names in this. And this description makes no sense. A decade after the original massacre, I'm assuming they're talking about the first Mangler movie, another man obsessed over his machine ends with several murders and possession. The sentence doesn't even make sense. A decade after the original massacre, another man obsessed over his machine ends with several murders and possession. The man ends? Or his obsession ends? What ends? Because you're not... Grammatically, you're making no sense. And it got a 3.1 out of 10, so I guess it's better than Mangler 2. Last but certainly not least, we have George Romero's Monkeyshines. I have not seen this. I've seen the preview for it, and it looks fucking bonkers. Came out in 1988. What starts as an innocent attempt to have a specially trained monkey help a paralyzed man get a new lease on life turns into a hell of unleashed rage. Monkeyshines is a chilling look at how one man's inner fury is telepathically channeled through his beloved monkey, which carries out his most devious thoughts. Aided by injections of human brain cells given by a zoned-out scientist, the monkey begins to take control. Before long, her brutal dominance turns deadly. Oh, it's a lady monkey. Let the master of the macabre, George Romero, take you through the darkest tunnels of man's mind and lead you into the realm of man's suppressed desires. And one of the pictures on the back is the monkey holding a straight razor up to a guy. I assume he's gonna slit his throat or something with the straight razor. That's just a really funny picture. Just this little capuchin monkey with a straight razor. Monkeyshines, an experiment in fear.
She did it for me. Did it because I wanted it done. Stop it.
Carefully peel back the sticker a little bit so I can read the tagline on the front. Taglines, that is. Once there was a man whose prison was a chair. The man had a monkey. They made the strangest pair. The monkey ruled the man, it climbed inside his head. And now as fate would have it, one of them is dead. Monkeyshines.
Not gonna hurt me. I'm part of you.
Monkeyshines, immune into terror.
Well, that's gonna do it for this VHS haul. I hope you enjoyed these titles. I've got another VHS Spotlight coming out real soon. I hope you guys will enjoy that one. The movie I'm doing it on is quite a doozy. If any of you have seen any of these movies, comment down below what you thought about it. Let me know. That's gonna do it for this video. This is Lindsay signing off. I'll check you later.